All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi.
By the way, tomorrow morning, Mirz Hashem, my wife is on the same flight as my kids were. So it's a 5:40 pickup. So, last time they were delayed. So I assume I should be there on time. Plus, it'll be a little easier and quicker. I don't have to change cars and all that. So if I'm not here on time for 6:25 davening, Mirz Hashem, I will be here on time. Right. Yeah. Okay. Last time we had Zos Hanukkah, it was a longer laning. It didn't really help so much. Although those of you who complain, yeah. Oh, okay. And those of you who complain about davening here when it's long, I was at Yeshurun yesterday at 8:00, and there was a song that was sang during Hallel, and it was.
And you're still davening.
It's not. Yes, it's not alike. So please don't complain. Please don't complain until you see another place. All right, fine. So Rav Papa, so we're in the middle of Chav Dalet Amud Beis, middle of the wide lines, smack in the middle of the line. Rav Papa. And away we go. Rav Papa goes to Tanisa, V'lo Asimicha. So Rav Papa was going there fast, and it rained, and I come. Chalash Libes. So it was at the end of the fast, and it come, and he was upset. So Sarah Pincha the Daisa, so he had a bowl of grits, right, of Daisa. Right, by Rachmin and David after that, V'lo Asimicha, and it didn't rain again. Similar of Nachman Bar Ushpasti. He said, "Yifarv Mara Pincha Achriti the Daisa Asimicha." Or maybe go have another bowl of cereal, and then maybe daven then. In other words, he's basically saying, why would you think you can go ahead and eat and break your fast and then daven more? And Hashem would listen to you. So if he gave him bears, and he felt bad. And because of that, the rain came. Now, Chanina ben Daisa, well, a couple of Chanina ben Daisa, one time he was walking also Mitra, and it was raining. Some of the But everyone is happy that their fields are getting watered, but I'm a traveler, right? And I should be in pain, right? I should be, I'm walking in the mud in the rain. So Pasuk Mitra and his chus, the rain stopped. So Kimat al-Beis, when he got to his house, everyone else is upset, right? Because they're, separating their fields. But I'm happy because I traveled in the, in dryness. So Samitra, then it began to rain again. And Rav Yosef, Ma'ahan Salusa, the Kohen Gadol, Lagabi, Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa. Right? What help is there? What help is there? The tefillah of the Kohen Gadol and Yom Kippurim, the special tefillah, it does even have the same effect as that of Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa. His tefillah is even better. And what is their tefillah? It's now we learn in the Mishnah. That there was a small tefillah that the Kohen Gadol would say, and then the outer house, right? Samai Matzli, what did he daven? So Rabbi Baradi, they both said. He starts off saying, let it be rainy and hot. So the Shchuna, you see, what is it's hot, it's good. If it's too hot, it's no good, stuff won't grow. Ella im Shchuna, rather if it's hot, Geshuma v'Talula, right? If it is hot, indeed, let there be rains and dews with it. And don't listen to the prayers of the travelers. Right, prayers of the travelers. They they pray, hey, to stop raining. Ravacha prayed the Rava Messiah Rav Yehuda. He said also in the name of Rav Yehuda. They will also say Lo Yadi Avid Shulta Mid the base Yehuda. Right, that the leadership, the base Navi, the base Nasi, should not leave the house of Yehuda. Right, which stemmed from David Melech. And they shouldn't need one another to sustain one another, and certainly not from other nations. Rather, each person should be able to go ahead and support himself. And every day a Baskal will go out and say the entire world is sustained to the zchus of Chanina, my son, the Chanina Bani. Erev Shabbos. All he really needs is carobs from Friday to Friday. He eats very little for himself, and he does not have much. And so every Friday, his wife used to go ahead and throw some stuff inside the oven to create smoke, right, with the appearance that she was going to head and baking, but really she did not because she didn't, she didn't have any money. Mishum. Why she did Mishum Kesufa? Because she was embarrassed. Turn the page, right? Because she was embarrassed that she didn't have what to bake on Erev Shabbos. Everyone else is big challahs, and she would feel bad. So she used to go ahead into the oven. So she had a certain neighbor who wasn't so nice. So Amra, she said, Michli, I know you. I know she has nothing. I'm going to go ahead and bust her. So my kuli, hi, what's all this smoke coming out of her stove? I know, or her oven. I know she has nothing. So Azov Tarfa Ababa, she came and knocked on the gate. So Vayal in Durana, right? So she saw her. She came embarrassed. Oh no, the neighbor's here. My oven, right? It's filled just with smoke, but there's like straw in there. There was nothing in there to go ahead and no food. So she hid in the inner room. So Nisa, and so a miracle happened. The Chaz Tanura Male Lachma, the Agana Male Lisha, and she saw. Then this neighbor looked over to the oven, and she saw there was basically the dough that was coming out. The bread was popping out, and there was all this dough on the kneading table. Samala. Planisa says, ma'am, right? I see masa the hurry up, go get a shovel, right? To go ahead and remove your bread. Your bread is ready. It's popping out of the oven. Samala, she said, yeah. Yeah, why do you think I went inside the inside room? I was going to go ahead and get a shovel to remove all the bread. And Tana was taught, Achi lahavi marda nichnasa mipnei shemilamadas benisa. So even when I was talking, it said, and it was taught that she actually went for the shovel. She knew it was going to happen because she was used to miracles happening on behalf of her and her husband. So Amra la devisiu. So she said to her husband, Amos nizav instar kulehai. How long are we going to suffer in such poverty? Right? It's time. Everyone else is living fancy, and look at us. We got nothing. Samar man the other. What do you want from me? Go ahead and go ahead and daven, and I'm sure Kodesh Baruch Hu will give you. So by rachmi shesri daven yasa kamin pieces yad diavala chad kara the batura the daven. Then basically like a hand extended from the shemayim and handed her a golden leg from a golden table. So bechalma aside, and then in a dream, machlokes actually he saw or she saw. The Basir of Bechalma, right? And she saw according to Rashi, right? Bechalma Asida Tzadiki the Achli Abtura the Dava, these let Tlas Kare, Abtura the Trey Kare. So she saw in her dream that in the future the Tzadikim will be at a table, I guess a cocktail table of 3 legs. That was the normal table. Everyone else had 3 legs, and her and her husband, they were at a table of 2 legs. In other words, basically this leg that they were given, this golden leg, was from their Olam Haba. So right? Is it good for you, right? That everyone else should have a full table and we have one that's lacking and that's missing. So she said back to her husband, what should we do? She said, "Boy, Rachmi, the Nashkelinu, right? Go ahead and daven and let it, that should be taken him back. So the Nashkelim enough, that should be taken from him. So by Rachmi, the Shaklu, so she davened, and it was taken away. And Tana was taught, right? That the second nace, the one taking it back, was larger than the first one because he learned that which is given is not taken back. So the fact that it was given was a miracle, but the fact that it was taken back was even a bigger miracle. And one time, Rabbi Chanina so that his daughter was upset. Samarla, he said, why are you sad? Samarla, I messed up the candles for Shabbos, right? I was supposed to take out the oil to light it, and I took the vinegar and lit it. Or the Shabbos, I lit the Shabbos candles. So he said, Biti, what does it make a difference to you? Whoever was the one who created the nature that oil should burn, so he can make it that vinegar can burn. There's no difference.
That was on purpose. They had no oil.
No.
She switched it. She said she switched. She took the wrong one. Atana. Hayadaylek the halech kalayim kulai achevi mimeno or lavdo. Right, and they said that this miraculous fire of the vinegar, right, lasted the entire Shabbos until it was time for havdo. Furthermore, he had these certain goats. So Amrle, the Gemara will ask, where do you get goats from? So Amrle, so ka mafsidan. You're going ahead, right? And your animals are being mafsid our stuff, right? They're eating our stuff. So Amra ka mafsid nichlinu dubi, right? If my goats are going out and stealing and eating from your pastures, or they're stealing your stuff, right? then let bears come and kill them. However, below, but if they're innocent, right? Let each one of them come back with bears on their horns. In other words, let the these and indeed when anything happened, in the evening, I used to call the each one came back, right? The 12 pointers or whatever these deer or these goats were, they had big horns. So they came back with bears in their horns. And and furthermore, they had a certain neighbor that built a house. The beams didn't connect. She didn't have money to fix it. So also the Kamei, so she came before him. So Amra le Benise basically come out to Kshurai. Right, I built a house and its beams do not reach the walls. So he said, okay, what's your name? So Amra le, she said them, Iku. Right, her name is Iku. Right, so Amra Iku nimta Kshurecha. Right, Iku. Right, let your beams go ahead and reach the walls. Let them become longer. And Tana was taught. It grew to the point that was Amma extended over on each side. Some say Sanipin Asum, some say miraculously, like different sections were added on. And Tani will learn advice of Palima. I saw the house. I actually saw the house, and there was an Amma extended on each side. And he told me, this is the house that Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa filled in his tefillah. Rabbi Chanina ben Daisa, we said earlier, Rabbi Chanina was very poor. So where did he have these goats from? So he was poor. Furthermore, said, right? We don't go ahead and raise these types of domesticated animals in Eretz Yisrael because they go around and they eat up all the land. So Amar Pinchas Maisa. One time there was a Maisa. So one time a person was traveling and he came to his house. He left his chickens here. I said, I'll be right back. Matzatsan Ishto and his wife found him. The guy left. He never came back. Found the chickens. And he started, laying eggs. And she said, nobody touch these eggs. These aren't mine. Baharbu baits him, and many eggs came from there, and many chickens and I guess they were busy raising these other person's chickens. They sold it to come, but the man eats him, and they bought goats with that money. In other words, that goat is now easier to take. It has the same value. It's just easier to take care of. So Pamachas Adam. One time, that person who lost the chickens, he was back in town. He said to someone else there, over here I left my chickens. And Shama Rabbi Chanina heard this. And Simon, do you have a Simon? Hey, yeah, sure. But Simon gave him Simon, but not and then he took the goats back because the goats were that guys. These were the goats that brought back the bears on their horns. So it wasn't like that he was wealthy. Rather, he was actually watching these goats for somebody else. Rabbi Elazar ben Padas, the Chiki lei Milsa. Rabbi Elazar ben Padas also is very poor. So one time he oven milsa, he went to go bloodlet, right? And he didn't have anything to go ahead and eat afterwards to nourish himself. So Shakal brought the tumas. He went ahead and took a garlic, right? Mm-hmm. And v'shadya bepume, and he put it in his mouth, right? So he took this garlic, put it in his mouth, right? And cholash libe. And I guess that it caused him illness, and he fell asleep. And also, the Rabbanan went to go ahead and see how he was doing. Right? They heard he had this garlic after his fast or whatever, after his bloodlets. So Chazi dekav bachi v'chayech v'nafik tusisa denura me'apuse. And they saw in his dream when he fell asleep, he was laughing. Then he cried, and then he laughed, and then like a light was coming from his forehead. When he woke up, by time why'd you cry? Why'd you laugh? So he told him, I was there in my dream, and a college Baruch came to sit with me. And some say, how much can I suffer in this world? And after the do you want me to go ahead and reverse the world and take you back and put you in another generation that perhaps at that time you'll be able to sustain yourself, you'll have a good, a good living? So I'm in the comments. I said, "Kuli high the afshar. What you're going to do all this? Send me back to another generation, right? Just for the afshar, for the possibility that I might be, support myself." So I asked the Kodesh Baruch Hu further, "Dachit fei or dachina?" Right? Do I have more of my life, right, to live, or less, or most of my life has already passed? In other words, what point in my life am I? So I'm right? In other words, do you basically live most of your life? Some of the comments says, if that's the case, I don't need you to go ahead and reverse the world and go back to an earlier time and place me then, because I've already lived most of my life. Why I lived only a minor of my years with this miracle. So and this with this reward that you didn't want to go back, right? I'll give you a reward in the world to come. Right, 13 rivers of oil, prisamon, balsam oil, right, like as clear as the Tigris and the Euphrates. You're able to go ahead and anoint yourself and enjoy from that pleasure, that aroma. And Amr the Kame, hi Vesulo. And I said, that's all I'm going to get, just these 13 rivers of oil, balsam oil to enjoy. So you want more? That I have to take for other people, right? What are your friends going to have? Now it says, no, I don't want, to take somebody who wasn't deserving, right? Let me go ahead and take some, from people that, that don't require the world to come. They lost on the world to come. So Machin Bas Kalusa Aputai HaKadosh Baruch Hu he went and he sort of flicked him in his head, right? He said at the end, he saw light coming from his forehead, flicked his head, V'amar li Elazar, Bari, Elazar, my son, Giri B'cha Giri, my arrows are in you, my arrows. In other words, basically, he flicked him and says, I'm happy with you. And that was the sort of the light that was shining from his forehead in his dream. And guys are fast and it didn't rain. So Amru Le, they said to him, he was guys are fast, and then they davened and then they rained. So this is me, and that's the son of Levi. That's Rav Shua ben Levi. So Amr Le said to him, right? Maybe go ahead and invite him here, and then together, right? You'll daven with him, and we'll all daven, and then maybe it'll rain. So they went ahead and they davened. They gathered together with Rav Shua ben Levi. They davened and it didn't rain. So yeah, so he said, right? Is it good for you that the rain should come in our schus? Hey. So Amar, so he said, Rakia kasi panacha, right? He said, the sky, close your face, and there was clouds come out, and no ichsi. However, the clouds did not come out. So Amar kama izin pnei rakia, right? How brazen is the sky that it didn't go ahead and become overcast. And ichsi v'yasimicha. And then, then at that point in time, then indeed the clouds did come and it began to rain. And furthermore, Levi guys with Tanis of Lasa Mitra, Levi was the ones guys are fast and did not rain. You sit up there on top and you don't have any rachmim on your children, no rain. So Asa Mitra, so rain did come, however, however, Levi became lame, right? He became lame. He wasn't able to walk properly. Because of the chutzpah, right? That what you said in Amrad Rabbi Elazar. A person should never basically speak harshly against Shemaim. Because we see in Adam Gadol, such as Levi, or Levi, right? Spoke in such a way, and he became lame. He was punished. And who was that? Levi. That was that great person. That Adam Gadol was lame. The Gemara says, father of your Rabbi Yeshua. All right. Yeah. That was also Rav Shua ben Levi. I'm not sure. Or I don't know. It could be a different Levi. No. Well, the other one was Levi, and this is the other one was referred to as Rav Shua ben Levi, and this was Levi. So I don't know. Could be. Yeah. So this caused Levi to become Itla. Levi Achve Kita Kamed the Rebbe Vitla. There was another Maisa where Rebbe, where actually I think Rav Shua ben Levi was different because Rav Shua ben Levi was a different time. So one time he was showing Rebbe how to go ahead and properly bow down. This do is called Kida. The Quran used to go down, and he went down Vitla and he became lame in such a way, right? He injured himself doing that. So the answer is right? Could have been both. In other words, he had the fact that he had this X against him, the way he spoke harshly, Klapi Shemaya. And then, in addition, he did something which is more or less dangerous, and that's why he got injured. And so Reb Chia bar Lulani once heard the two clouds talking to one another. Let's go ahead and make a rain. And Ammon and Moab. Some of the Hashem. right? When you want to go ahead and give the Torah, right? No one wanted to take it. You went to all the other nations, they didn't accept it. So but only the Jews accepted it. So the now, but now that you want to give the rain, you should also go ahead and basically pass up all the nations and give to the Jews. And Shadua Aduchtaya. And therefor, it went ahead and it rained on the lands of Eretz Yisrael. And Dorash Rabbi Chia bar Lunai bar Luliani. What does it mean that the tzaddikim should be like a tamar, like a date tree, a palm tree? All right, and also eres like the cedars in Lebanon, right? Right? If it's a tamar, why say eres? And if eres, why tamar? So this is ilu nemar tamar v'lo nemar eres. How you see? If it just said the date palm, I would have just said ma tamar ein gizo machlif avtarik chazshom ein gizo machlif. Right? Just like the date, right? If it goes ahead and it gets cut down, it doesn't regenerate. So too maybe at Sadik Chas Shalom, right? As Rashi says, "Ein lo schar lo asid." Perhaps he won't get a schar, he won't regenerate the world to come. So therefore, the Chach Nama Eres, therefore it says cedar that it regenerates, and we'll soon see. We'll explain that. And Elon Amar Eres V'Nemar Tamar. You see, what it said. Ma Eres Ein Oisa Peiros. A cedar doesn't have peiros. Sadik Chas Shalom Ein Oisa Peiros. So too the Sadik doesn't have peiros. The Chach doesn't have fruit come from him. All right. Therefore. Actually, that was the other one. Enos Aperos was referring to Lasi Lavo, right? And the other one was being cut off, right? And over there, Peros Afsadik Hashem Enos Aperos. The Kachnemar, the word says Tamar, Venemar, I said Venemar Erez, the Kachnemar, Tamar, therefore it says Tamar, Venemar Erez, Gizu, Machlif. So you're saying that over here now, the Kachnemar, Tamar, Venemar Erez. Therefore it says both Tamar and Erez. Now, period. The Erez Giza Machlif, and this Erez, a cedar regenerates. All time in the Bryce, Lakutz. If one goes out and he buys, he leases, whatever, he obtains the tree from his friend for the purposes of using the wood. So it's known he's going to cut it down, right? So the question is, you have to cut it down in a way that you're not going to ruin it for future use. So Mina Karkia. So normally it's been a karka tefach. It should be a tefach off the ground because then it'll begin to regrow from there. So if I'm going to go ahead and chop his tree, chop it at least with a tefach off the ground. The kaitzitz. This dan a sigma with an older sycamore tree, shnei tvachim, 2 tvachim. The besula sigma if it's a new sycamore tree, then shlosh the 3 tvachim off the ground. The kanu gafanim when it comes to reeds and vines, min apkak ulamala right from the knot and above. The kolim, right ubarazim. And when it comes with the palm or the arazim or the cedar, you can even go ahead and dig down the fish ein giza machlif because it doesn't go ahead and regenerate. So we see over here a cedar does not regenerate, right? It's one tree that doesn't. Why isn't it different types of cedars? Like Rabbi Huna, there are 10 types of cedars, as it was taught. Etem, B'midbar, Erez, Shita, V'Hadis, V'chulei. Over there it mentions multiple ones, and we over there that there's a total of 10 cedars according to the teachings of Rabbi Bar Huna, and therefore this cedar was referring to one that regenerates. Taner Rabbanan. One time he was guys 13 fasts and it didn't rain. They said, okay, end of the fast, time to go home. And they were about to leave. Still no rain. So what? You guys, you prepared graves for yourselves? We're all going to start. There's no rain. So all began to cry out. And because of that, then it began to rain. He said the 24 brachos. It was not answered. Rabbi Kiva went afterwards. Right? Our father, our king, right? We don't have any king but you. Avinu malkeinu lemancha rachem aleinu, right? For your sake, have mercy upon us. The yardu geshavim, and after he said that, they started to rain. So having marani rabbanan, right? The rabbanan started to go ahead and murmur and talk to one another. You see, Rabbi Eliezer was down the whole time, nothing happened. Rabbi steps in Rabbi Kiva. After 5 minutes, it begins to rain. So Yosef Baskel Varma. And the Baskel came out and says, "Let me finish Shazeh Gadol Mizan now because this was greater than the other one." Ella Shazeh Ma'aviyam and Dosav Zeh Ein Ma'aviyam and Dosav. That Rabbi Kiva lets more go than Rabbi Eliezer. That was the reason why he had a special zechus. So Tanur Rabbanan, well, he didn't flex. The Baskel flexed. So Tanur Rabbanan Ad Mosai Yad Gesham Yordim Ba'atzir Paiskim Matanisam. So now at what point in time, if do we basically stop making new fasts? And no, we're not talking about the case. Actually, we'll get to at the end of today's daf. Not when they have a fast for that day and it begins to rain, but rather at what point in the season do we say, you know what, we've already done 3 fasts or 6 fasts and we don't need any more. So 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 the amount of if the water goes down, the amount that a plow goes into the ground, if it's dry earth, then a tefach down, if it's regular, then it's 2 tefachim, and ba'avuda, if it was already plowed, it was already worked, then shlosh tefach.
I think it's referring to the fact during the day. So they stop in the middle of the day or they wait.
No, that's later on. Yeah, so that this is until the Geshem Yordim. In other words, at what point does it start raining? Right, for us to stop decreeing fasts.
Stop making another one.
Right. No, it's just a drizzle. Oh, it already rained, so we don't need a fast anymore. No, that's not enough of a rain. It has to be a heavy enough rain that it saturates the ground to this extent. And Tan Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, right? If there's a tefach on top, then you know that it goes down all the way to the depths. It's 2 tefachim. Right? If it was plowed, then it will go down a little more. If it was hard and dry, if it doesn't, then it will not. And Amr Bezek Shemachlis was a mayim b'chag tehum aimer lechavera. Right? When when they do the nichsuch hamayim, when they do the water libations on Sukkos, so when it goes down, the tum aimer lechavera. So one tum, the deep waters say to his friend, Abba miyamecha, right? Gush your waters, right? Gush your waters. Let them gush forth. Let them come your waters. And kol shnei reimani shemei. I hear 2 voices talking. Shnamar tum al tum kaireh lekol tzinarecha. So it says over there, as the tomb says to the other one, the one deep water says to the other one, that call out your waters for your waters. So the depths talk to one another. And Amar Rabbah, it says Rabbah Ladidi Chazidi Hai Ridya. I once saw Ridya, type of one of the Shadim, Demi Le'eglo Pirsa Spasal, right? It looks like a calf, and its lips are parted. Right, they weren't together. The kaima ben tuma to Taila tuma to Eli, and it was basically this shade, right? The Ridya, right, was between the lower waters on the earth and the upper waters in the heaven. To the ones up, it says that your waters will go ahead and sprinkle down. The tuma to Tai Amrle, and the one below, he says Abi Mecha, gush forth your water. Shemar Hanitzim Nira Baretz, let it be seen on the land, your water. Fine. Now. 2 dots. So it says if they decreed a fast on that day, this is the other case referring to Meir, and then it began to rain before. So at what point do you say, oh, we don't need a fast? Is it before the Nates or after the Nates? If it began to go, there was a fast that day and it began to rain before Nates, then you should go ahead and finish the fast. But if it began to rain only after Nates, after sunrise, then they should finish it. If it rained before chatzos, don't finish it. But if it started to rain after chatzos, then go ahead and finish the fast, because the fast already started. And no, it's 9 hours. If it rains in the first 9 out of 12 hours of the day, then no need to fast, because it's normal for many people not to eat the first 9 hours. However, the Achar shows, but after 9 hours, then you have to go ahead and fix it. Why? Who's the normal people? We find by Achav Melech Yisrael, she said in shows to Lamala, they used to go ahead, and normally he would eat the first 9 hours. So if he wasn't eating beyond the 9th hour, then it was a fast. Namazba says, Harisi ki nichne Achav. You see that Achav was worried and he was upset, and therefore began to fast even in the middle of the day when he heard the bad news. And Rabbi Yehuda in the Siyah Gazot Tanisah, Rabbi Yehuda was guys are fast, and it began to rain the Achar Netzachama. So after sunrise. So he thought to go ahead and complete it, right? In Amarle, Rebbe Ami Kaidim Chatzos Chatzos Shaninu, right? It's because of before and after Chatzos. So no, we learned that before and after Chatzos. So therefore, since it rained before Chatzos, therefore there is no need to go ahead and fast. And finally, Shmuel Katan goes with Tanisa. Shmuel, we're going to get to the 2 dots, the second line from the bottom. So Shmuel Katan goes with Tanisa. He was guys are fast. And then he was guys are fast before Netzachama. Right? They said, oh, it rained before the fast. So they said, Must be because we're getting ready to fast, and therefore we're chashuv. He said, no. I'm sure a certain servant wants to go ahead and get his payment from his master. He says, I see he's about to come to me. Just give him the money now. I didn't even want to hear from him. Or no, basically it's a bad thing. I know it's Hakadosh Baruch Hu didn't want to hear tefillos. He just said, okay, here's your rain. I don't want to hear you daven to me. And Shuv Shmuel Katan Gazer Tanisa. Another time he was guys are fast, and then let's say it rained in the morning after Shkia. So and he thought, we did good. Hakadosh Baruch Hu wanted to hear us, and we cried out to him, and he heard us, and now so it's because we're good. Once again, he said, Shmuel, no. No, it's not Shavach Tzibur. I'll tell you what's compared to. Like a servant who wants to be paid from his master. Let him go ahead and wait, right, and worry and suffer, and I'll give him at the end. In other words, he made them suffer, so too he made us suffer throughout the day. Only afterwards give him. That's the case. Shmuel, you can't have your cake and eat it too. When is it a shevach for the people? So Amar, I'll tell you what it is. When a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you want to hear shevach when we look good in his eyes. Amar Mashiv Ruach, the Nashiv Zika. When we say Mashiv Ruach and the winds begin to blow. Amar Merida Gashem. When he said Merida Gashem, then the rain comes. Other than that, it's basically Hakadosh Baruch Hu is not necessarily accepting of our actions and our tefillos and our. All right, we'll stop here. Shkayach, everybody.